Good morning. Welcome. It's day 22947 for me. It's Thursday, the 3rd of October in 2024 for almost everybody else. Pardon me a second. I'm having a little bit of my morning coffee and cannabis. I started coming out here to set all this up at 6:30. So yeah, it's probably about 6:45 now. And it's really nice out. It's very pleasant, but it's supposed to be another hot scorcher kind of day. We're having this late season, last summer gasp thing. It's been very hot all week. Yesterday it was over 100 degrees. The day before it was 98. The day before it was 96. I think that's what it's supposed to be today, 96. I do have something to talk about. Hang on a second, okay? Pardon me again. Okay, well, you folks who've been, regular viewers and kind of following along some of the themes that I talk about here on this YouTube channel that I've got going on. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so there's an app slash website slash service called vidIQ, VID, and then the capital I and Q, like your IQ, and they analyze the videos that are on YouTube. Like what I did is I downloaded this app. I'm on the trial basis, to check it out, but I'll probably subscribe when the time comes. It's really, really a very useful tool for me in building my YouTube channel. And in the whole thing, aside from analyzing your videos and giving you some insights and ideas about what your thumbnail should look like, what the title of your video should be to reach more viewers, to be more appealing, to crack that almighty YouTube algorithm, But one of the things that they do in this thing is they have like a coaching thing, a little lesson plan where every day you get like 4 or 5 little lessons that you do through the course of the day. And lately it's just been, I'm just starting on the program, so it's getting all the ducks in order, getting all my pieces together. And we talked about one of the things they brought up I thought was brilliant. It make your videos, they said, not for a robot, the algorithm, but for people. So identify your audience, make videos for people, not for the algorithm, for the data. And that really struck a chord to me because that's kind of where I was on the whole thing. I mean, screw trying to make something like everybody else to get more views or whatever. That's just not going to work for me. Probably not going to work for anybody out there trying to do it. You got to be you, right? I've got to be me. So I'm going to do it my way. I did it I know I'm very musical this morning. So it has you, think about who would love what I talk about, and make a picture in your mind about this person, and then talk to the video like you're talking to that person in their lives. And, they want to get some tips from some old guy like me who's, been in a 30-year marriage, who has, 3 adult children, 4 grandchildren. And how did I get to where I am? How did I reach my goal of being an old man, living in the mountains, sitting outside my pot garden, smoking some weed, So the other thing that I learned too in this whole thing is, what am I selling, if you will? What is my service? What is my menu if I were a restaurant? And, so I kind of think about things, and, I don't like to dabble in that political thing too much. I think it's important. I think people should have a dialogue about that. But that's just the problem. People aren't having dialogues. They're having shouting matches, or people are angry or intolerant, or just, one side slags off the other side. And you know what, folks? We're all on the same damn side here. We're all fucking Americans. We're all goddamn earthlings. We're all human. And anyways, politics is just get it out the window. I just don't want to talk about that. It gets my blood rolling, So what do I talk about that I enjoy? Well, my cannabis. I know a little bit about cultivation. I have been doing it for years. I actually told a story when my nephew was here about the pot plant that I grew in my mother's backyard back in, I think it was 1981 or 82. But my point is, I've been doing it for a long time. I love talking about it. I love doing it. I love sharing it and things like that. But then, we're on a platform here, YouTube, and they have certain guidelines, community guidelines, they call them. And cannabis is, because of the laws in certain places, cannabis is something that can't be freely talked about. Certainly not for children. And I always mark all my videos, no, not made for children. But, But the point is, cannabis gets kind of a shorthand. You don't come up a lot in search. I mean, in you know, random viewership things, or maybe I just haven't found the audience for it. So cannabis is something that I'll probably continue mentioning at least. But then I thought about, well, what's the purpose of doing all this effort, D? Why have you been putting in so much work? Um, since February now, so almost the whole year, 8 months is one of the things I do. The other reason why I do this is I am engaged in a project through my publishing company. Our publishing company is called the Intrepid Editor Press. We've been around since 2009. We started as a way to publish my first book, Schlep, which I had I joined the National Write a Novel in a Month Challenge. NaNoWriMo is what it's called. And the idea is during the month of November, you have to pound out a book. And I think it's something like 10,000 words or something like that. But there's like a criteria to call it a book. And, mine was more of like a novella. It ended up being about just under 200 pages. But when I did it, I did it. I made it. I wrote a book in a month, and it was the most amazing thing. It really, it like opened up a whole new part of my life for me. And we formed this little publishing company because I had won a thing through an organization called Create Space, and it was like a on-demand digital. So I have this publishing company, and remember I was talking just the other day about now that I've kind of gotten all my goals done, my life goals, I got to come up with some new ones. So one of my new goals is I want to help. My goal is to help. My media goal is between now and say this time next year, I want to have helped say maybe 8, 10, 12 people write a novella-size novel about their life, like an autobiography. I would be sort of a ghostwriter in this whole thing. I'd certainly be the editor and publisher of it, but I could help you tell stories. So this video channel is something that I am trying to show through both demonstration by telling you things, through conversation such as this, but all our lives are merely a series of stories that comprise the whole of what is our life. But the long and the short of it is, I wanted to start this YouTube channel to both promote and help people write your book about you. In fact, that's what the service is called, Your Book About You. And I don't want to go into what I do with that, but the channel is a way for me to promote that. I feel very strongly about Your Book About You. I know I can help people tell their stories. I know how to elicit stories from people. I know what kinds of questions to ask. So that's what I'm going to start doing with this channel is my audience people, you, my viewers, that's what I'm going to start talking about more of, because in the few responses I have gotten, that seems to be what people tell me. I talk about, for example, my lupus and the struggles I have, and I'll get a note from somebody, and I don't even know if they're a subscriber or not because it's a different email than anything I have in my data that I get from from YouTube. But they write to me and they tell me about their struggles with lupus or a chronic illness or pain or likewise good things, the happy things when I share things with my grandsons or my family, my girls, my wife, I also get these random notes that's what they respond by telling me little stories, and I know I can help people tell stories. I have a lot of insight in how to keep healthy, or at least how I keep healthy. I have a lot of insights about how I am happy, how I feel like I've already reached so many of the goals in my life. I better make up new ones so that I have something to live for. So the exercises, branding, that's going to be kind of the menu of things that I'm going to have here on the channel. And the location is here on YouTube. And so I need a shingle to hang out front, the YouTube channel name. And that's where you come in, okay? I, working with the vidIQ thing, working with just my own rusty brain, came up with, I'm going to give you in just a second, 6 different possible titles for this YouTube channel. And I'm pleading with you to please, please, please respond. In the comments is a great place because then we all can see who's voting for what or whatever. But, it's election time. So vote for what you think the name of this channel should become to get people like you, people like me, wanting to watch. Okay? So, so pardon me, I'm going to just put up a graphic here for a few minutes. And I'm going to first put up each name, and then I'll put the whole list of names. Okay? I got to also take a leak. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know if this is all working right again. Sorry, that was a little bit longer than I anticipated, that break. Or at least for me it was. For you, I'm sure it was just however long I make it in the video, right? Oh, my friends, my friends, my friends. I am starting to space out. I guess maybe it was a little too early for the cannabis, or I've been up for 3 hours. I didn't sleep a lot last night, or I've got to get going on this garden here before the sun gets too high and it gets too hot. So, I've got things to do. I'm sure you've got things to do. I've taken up enough of your time. I am very grateful that you took the time to watch. And if there's anything that I can answer for you, if there's, I guess, anything I can do, you want to write a book, look me up. Okay. Well, I gotta go. So, like I always say, take care, be safe, and keep your dauber up. Bye. Okay, I don't know if this is